everybody, and welcome to the show that Hunter Biden once called the best companion to both cocaine and Big Daddy's pardon. It's the 42 Show.
Oh, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Oh, and in the stories we're not going to be covering tonight, a man nearly dies as he experiences an anaphylactic shock after being bitten by the family's pet hamster. Watch out for those little buggers. They're a bit nasty. A porn star will attempt to have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours and try to break a Guinness. Well, is that going to go in the Guinness Book of Records? I don't think so. But what a dirty tart. And also, scientists are baffled as orcas seem to revive an 80s trend of wearing dead salmon hats. Yes, they're swimming around with salmon on their head with strange little buggers. I love this part of the article. It says, it may be choosing to store the leftovers on its head for later because the fish are too tiny and slippery to hold under their fins. They should grasp them by the husk.
Well, let's turn right to somebody who obviously doesn't have leftovers on their head or anything else in it. That's Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has claimed that a media psyop is responsible for creating a negative image of Donald Trump that has distorted people's perceptions of the president. Oh, I can't even do this with a straight fucking face.
Yeah. The media psyop is basically reporting the stupid shit he does.
Oh man. So the bald-headed moron noted an apparent shift in media treatment of the president-elect dating to a time before his first presidential term. Oh, you mean when we all started to realize he's not just a little off the wall, but he's like, completely in hard right field. Rogan is seen as having one of the key players in the 2024 election because he gave a big last-minute endorsement to Trump, right? So, and he's previously spoken about the loss of credibility of so-called legacy media. Oh, the ones that do the actual work so that you have something to fucking talk about?
Yeah,
hypocritic bastard.
The ones that are under legislation.
And so he goes on to say, what we saw is the greatest media psyop in history. What you're seeing with Trump, regardless of his flaws, so at least you recognize he must have a couple, is a massive concentrated psyop. They've distorted who he is to the point where most people think that way. Most people think that the narrative that these people have pushed is the actual truth of the man. But it is.
Yeah. How is it distorted in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah. Calling a convicted felon is a very factual and true statement. I just can't see the problem here. So
maybe Donald Trump is actually a terrific dancer, and he doesn't like he doesn't like the village people.
Yeah. He puts the M in that dance, right? So he goes on here. 2008, Hillary Clinton was more MAGA than Trump. How about that? More MAGA than Trump. It's all a fucking illusion. It's all a fucking illusion. All of them, when convenient, have said the exact same things. Really? I don't remember when Hillary Clinton was going around talking about grabbing people by the pussy.
No.
Does anybody recall that? I don't.
No, she just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, she probably grabbed a few, but it was probably after a glass of wine or something, right?
Yeah. Experimentation in college and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now, he did say something that I think I might agree with. The 2024 election in the United States, that is, was the first in which legacy media had been overshadowed a bit by alternative outlets, including podcasts and so on. He says they had control of the media up till now. This election was the first time they didn't have control because of us, because of podcasts, because of social media, because of X.
Yes, that's a dirty old shit bag.
Wow. So just in case you were unsure just how fucking stupid Joe Rogan is, we're here to help you make that decision.
See that the man can just like talk bollocks as much as he like, and he's like I said, he's not under any kind of like over in the UK, in like traditional media, you can't just say any old shit because you're under like you're under the public eye, and it's not legislation, is it? But it's, you have governing bodies to make sure you're not just like an absolute cunt on the TV.
Exactly.
Now, maybe it should be like same thing starts to creep into the internet. If you've got a certain huge following, you should be underneath these same kind of like well, I say laws, not exactly laws, but yeah, just so you just can't just talk shit all the time. That's our job.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, don't just step off, right? The union rules here. We should acknowledge a thing went down in South Korea where a kind of paranoid, stupid man did a stupid thing. It's over now. So, Dunk, what do you got next?
Yeah, it actually happened so fast. It started when you started that sentence and finished before you finished.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Do you remember those guitars that Donald Trump is, getting made and bringing in from China, probably? Well, watch out, Trumpy, because like more than 3,000 fake Gibson electric guitars shipped from Asia were seized by U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents at the Los Angeles Long Beach seaport. Yeah, this is not the first time this has happened. Had the guitars been authentic, they would have been worth $18 million. I think US Customs and Border Protection don't know much about buying guitars. I don't think that would mean they're like $6,000 each. No, I don't think so. But the agency said, Gibson confirmed the guitars were that were intercepted were all counterfeit. And of course they were, because Gibson, founded in 1894, is based in Nashville, Tennessee, where there are guitars, and they're all handcrafted there in Bozeman and Montana. So they say these fraudulent guitars may look and feel legitimate for unsuspecting customers buying them from third-party online sources, street markets, and unauthorized retailers, and person-to-person transactions, says Cheryl M. Davies, CBP. I don't know what that's. CBP Director of Field Operations. As we approach the busy holiday shopping season, customers should pay attention on where they are buying these goods and how much they are paying. Yeah. It's not too good to be true. If it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
I would guess that the majority of these were actually going to end up on like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, because you're going to find people, some person that's going to buy it for a spouse or blah, blah, that can't tell the tiny details of fake from a real, and they get into the market way easier that way. Makes sense to me.
I saw a lot of that happens. A lot of that goes on. I remember seeing an awful lot going on. Yeah. Gibson say, this is very emotional and personal for us, not only because of the protection of our players, but because our Gibson team at large, including the artisans at our craftories, that's what they call their factories, in Nashville and Bozeman, Montana, who are all generations of American families that have dedicated their entire lives to handcrafting Gibson instruments. Beth Height, Chief Marketing Officer at Gibson, said in a statement, well, I know all about Gibson and their marketing. Go watch my video about them trying to sell tone polish. They're so full of shit. It's unbelievable, their marketing. But yeah. They're fake guitars. Yeah, we all know that. But so do the people who are buying it. But they'll just end up in landfill. They'll just be crushed.
Very much. They'll fake anything to make a buck. Why, if you're going to go to that much trouble to make something well enough to be a fake expensive guitar, why don't you just start your own brand? The hell is wrong with you?
Actually, to be honest with you, there used to be a guy I was friends with, and his channel was called China Guitar Skeptic, and he would order these fake guitars from China to test them out, and and show them, whether they were good, whether they were bad.
Right.
He was quite honest about it, and point out the flaws and show you where it's not quite matching the Gibson standard. And he did actually go away and make his own brand, and and had Chinese guitar builders building guitars for him.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it worked out good.
That's cool.
Except he's dead now. So
yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, so where am I here? Because I'm doing things all out of order now. Yeah, we're gonna skip over to this one now. So we might as well stick with things there. We made the joke in the beginning. So Biden's drawing quite a bit of condemnation, a little bit of support, but even his political allies are quite weary of this pardon for his son. Right now, It's a blanket pardon if you haven't caught on to this by now. So the way it's written, it's basically like, I don't care if he spit on a teacher in public school. The man is fine. Right. That's this document is just blanket. Right.
It's anything he's done, might do, has done, ever
or might do in the future. Yeah.
Or might do.
Yeah. And it what it's doing is really highlighting the expansive power of the U.S. presidency. And with this whole immunity thing that's come up due to recent court events and stuff, I mean, you've got some serious. If people are flipping out because Biden pardoned his son, and now let's face it here, look into this for a second here. Let me get out of my way. If Biden's son was totally being gone at in a way harsher way than your average person would in the same situation, because it's whole Republican versus Democrats, it's political rivals, it's Biden's child, right?
Yeah.
Biden did say, no, I'm not getting involved in blah, blah, but that was probably based on the fact that he thought the Democrats would hold power, right? So
yeah.
Would anybody out there, and I challenge any Republican bitching about this right now, to honestly answer this question? In the same situation, knowing your son was going to be persecuted by people that vehemently hated him just because of his last name, would you have just fed him to the dogs or heard of the dogs, or would you step in as a parent because you actually had the ability to? Answer honest.
Yeah, it's a very tricky one. I think I don't blame Biden for doing this. I do hold him accountable for going back on his words. But then, Trump said he's not going to follow 2025, and he's doing exactly that. So, everybody fiddles around a little bit in politics, but it's not been good. It's not been good for him to do that. But
it's not just for him. It's the whole party.
The whole party,
right? At this point,
it's making them look silly.
But in my view of things, the Democrats can do no wrong right now as Biden transitions out of power, because Trump will screw this up so badly that at the end of 4 years, if he makes 4 years, everyone will just want him gone.
Yeah. They just got to do everything they can in their powers right now to try to take the edge off the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And right. if pardoning Biden's son is part of that deal, okay, fair enough. I'll take it. Yeah, there's no problem. But of course, it's made Trump absolutely fucking furious.
Yeah. Oh, and this is the fallout from that now. Good transition. Thank you, because I might have forgotten. Trump is already barking that because Biden pardoned his son, that there's no qualm about Trump pardoning insurrectionists from January 6th.
Yeah. Do you know what I think he should do? I think Joe Biden should pardon them before Trump does.
Take that one away from him, right?
Just imagine how furious he'd be. Oh, I can't pardon. I don't know what. Just empty all these prisons. Just pardon everybody. You're all pardoned. Wow. You all got. Everybody's got a free pass. Over to you, Donald.
You're close, but the actual way you really piss off Trump is you set up a whole bunch of mobile offices all over the United States. Are you illegal? No. Stand right here and take the oath, and you are now. Trump would be fucking furious.
Let's do it. Let's
You
do
give
all
him a
these
heart
things.
attack. Yeah, just start swearing these people in America,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he'd drop from a cardiac arrest in 15 minutes.
And you get a free gun, and you become part of the Democratic Party personal police.
Yeah, the militia of the Democratic Party. Yeah, but
There's little old you and me over here, not in America, starting a civil war.
yeah, the Democratic People's Militia. There's only one prerequisite: you got to speak Spanish.
Yeah, or Chinese, or Canadian, or
at least
anything.
You just at least have to speak a second language, as your native tongue.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Okay. So, what the hell is this?
Well, I mean, we all know Mark Rober, don't we? Mark Rober, the internet sensation on YouTube, he's got like 24 billion followers on YouTube. He's the guy that did the the explosive parcels and glitter bombs and things like that. People.
Okay.
Anyway, he's a massive YouTuber, but he's offering to snap anyone's selfie with the planet Earth using a satellite. He's launching into orbit with the help of Google and T-Mobile. Rober himself is a former NASA engineer who's made himself a big name on YouTube. And creating things like the largest super soaker and building an obstacle course of squirrels. He's now merging all this interest with the launch of a satellite that can take photos of anyone's portrait displayed on a Google Pixel phone with the Earth. Yes, planet Earth indeed is going to be in the background. If you tell Robo where you live, he claims he'll take the selfie while the satellite is located over your city, and he'll tell you exactly when the photo is going to be taken, so you can actually go outside and technically taken twice in the same photo. The satellite is scheduled to be launched by SpaceX in January, and he's set to start taking selfie photos a few months after that. Yeah, quite interesting.
Why?
Because it's YouTube. Well, it's not going to be cheap, I'm afraid. Because if you're T-Mobile, because he's T-Mobile, you can get it done for free. But he does this thing called Crunch Lab, which is like you get like projects sent to your kids and stuff like that. You can build science projects and stuff like that. Well, if you want to get your selfie taken in space, you have to be a subscriber to Crunch Lab. Which is between $25 and $80 annually. So, it's not. If you want your picture taken with the Earth, just build your own satellite.
You see the thing there? If it was frameless and not some hopelessly homemade 3D printed thing and stuff, it just looks like crap.
Wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. He's got a whole video about it. I haven't watched it yet, but I think most people have, because it's like it's got 7 million views on it already. It's only been up a couple of days.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Yeah,
right?
so come on, Mark. We've shouted you out.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, be fair.
Yeah. Flip it back, buddy. Come on now. No. So now we just recently did a thing where we told you about the UK doing their whole push towards a vote on assisted dying. And the way the article that I read last time on this topic went on about it made it sound to me like, in a year we might hear something. Well, they're done. Go figure. So British members of parliament have voted and legalized assisted dying has been voted in 330 to 275 against. And now that's the bill. So it still has to clear the House of Lords and parliamentary committees. Every time I hear House of Lords, I think of the Beatles, I'd love to. Yeah, it's funny. But this is the most important hurdle because it's actually past the big first one. It allows people with a terminal condition and less than 6 months to live to take a substance to end their lives, as long as they are capable of making this decision themselves. 2 doctors and a high court judge will need to sign off on it. I think they should have somebody in psychology or whatever on that little panel just to make sure that the person is not relaying the wish of a family member or blah, blah. You never know. And that's one of the things. We'll get to it here. So, Canada, New Zealand, Spain, and most of Australia allow assisted dying in some form, as do several U.S. states, including Oregon, Washington, and California. Sounds like a West Coast party to me. Debate over the issue sharply divided lawmakers, many of whom have labored to choose a side during this. PMs were giving what they call a free vote on the issue. So there's no rules of supporting your party. It was very much just vote with your own conscience instead. No political ramifications. I don't know how you enforce that when people are going to be like, asshole voted against us in their private offices. I don't understand that. But there's been people for it. There's a BBC presenter here with advanced lung cancer, Esther Ranson, very prominent supporter of assisted dying, had a little something to say. She urged MPs on all sides to vote on the issue. This will probably not come before Parliament as an issue to debate for another decade or so. How many will be forced to suffer until then? At least just vote so we can get this going. And she got her wish. It's like they're going on here again. This is CNN I'm reading from. It's rare that British lawmakers are asked to decide for themselves on such an intimate issue and have this no partisan thing go up. And Rachel Maskell, Labour MP, said Parliament's tearing itself in two over this. MPs are showing signs of stress, having to make the decision in such a short time frame. It's occupying everybody's complete thoughts. So sounds like you're doing your jobs to me. People for and against did a big, there was demonstrations outside but there are critics who say that the guardrails aren't stringent enough and suggest patients could feel pressure from becoming like a burden on their families and other issues. That's why I suggest somebody with the brain shrink profession be in on that. They say the bill is broadly in line with the Oregon model, but doesn't go as far as Switzerland, the Netherlands, and Canada, which allow assisted death in cases of suffering, not just terminally ill. Like people who, yes, you're going to be in exasperating pain for the rest of your life, but you're going to live 20 years, right? The big point people got to get in their heads about this is this has nothing to do with like euthanasia where somebody else gets to decide.
Yeah,
right.
So no. It's just in time for Christmas. So buying grandma that special gift card for Christmas this year. No, you won't be able to do that.
Yes, very much so. So don't get excited to kill your relatives.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be difficult, if you could just euthanize someone who's in insufferable pain and will live for another 20 years because you're just describing me.
Well, you're in the UK, so that's how I was reading it until they got to the end clarification there. I was like,
there may be exceptions.
Okay, so yeah, your next picture. What the hell's going on in the world?
Yes, well, this is a US artist has found a special niche for making miniatures of dead Beatles. Shelby Walton from Denver, Colorado, has created more than 1,000 artworks. Use that term loosely.
Very lightly.
using beetles and other insects that are holding sex toys. Many are created around the idea of sexual freedom, and taking that is often frowned upon in celebrating it.
It's holding a condom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll come to this one in a minute. But yeah, many are centered around the idea of sexual freedom. No, I just said that. It says I'll have bugs embracing their sexuality in a dirty scene. I made a bug that is sitting using a vibrator and smoking a vape. I also made a gender bending bug which is wearing high heels, and he's got a big dick and he's holding a used condom and handcuffs.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, it's pecker enabled. I see. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, she says I'm a queer artist. You sure are. So a lot of my frames and phrases have to do with being gay, and I think we've experienced a lot of hate in the community. Well, I'm not surprised if you keep doing that with bugs. Oh, stinky bug lady. Shelby, who's in her 20s, was raised by religious parents in a religious area in Colorado Springs, but has refused to follow their parents' faith. You think?
Looks pretty Mormon to me.
They said that dislike of organized religion and the ideas it spreads has also influenced their art. Put a bug across. What are you talking about?
Why?
Any excuse, eh?
Why is she included Woody in her filth? Look at this.
I don't know. Oh, dear. Yeah. That's a beetle dressed up as Woody, probably. There's a little beetle inside it. Yeah. Anyway, she said she was suffering from depression at 16 and attended a Christian wilderness therapy program for troubled teenagers in Georgia. Well, it sure didn't cure her, did it? This 1 year program is designed to help teenagers escape bad influences and daily struggles in a wilderness environment. Cut off from the world.
Bad touch.
Cut off from the world. It was there that Shelby developed a passion for pressing plants and collecting dead insects, and probably pressing insects as well.
But why are you attaching cocks to them?
Yeah, like I say, I don't think it cured her. Yeah, she described it as the worst fucking year of her life. She says beetles are some of her favorite bugs to work with due to their variety and sturdiness, although also use butterflies, moths, mantises, and scorpions. Oh dear. Let's see what.
Poor Woody.
I'm just looking through it. Well, this kind of that's kind of my speciality at this point. Being able to manipulate them and move their bodies in the ways that I need. Yes.
Okay. She's going to start a whole new thing. Well, if furries are furries, what are these people? Insectoids?
Yeah, and boogies.
I'm a multi-legger.
She says, although we have a lot of fans, a picture of a urinating beetle recently got more than 20,000 likes on Instagram. Shelby acknowledged that some people don't get it.
Some people, yeah.
I may not know much about art, but I know what I like.
Yeah. Oh, hey, the crowd figures, buggies, we could call them. Right? KK in the chat, creepy crawlies. Yeah, okay. So we got to name these people. Holy God, honey. Don't do that to Woody. He's wholesome. What are you doing? Let me figure out where I'm going next here. Okay, here we go. You see that? That's a big Apple logo with a little Tim Cook underneath it.
Scale.
Yeah. He's the banana in this one. A new lawsuit filed by a current Apple employee accuses the company of, drumroll please, never mind, of spying on its workers via their personal iCloud accounts and non-work devices. The suit filed in California court alleges Apple employees are required to give up the right to personal privacy and that the company says it can engage in physical, video, and electronic surveillance of them even when they are at home and after they stop working for Apple. Those requirements are part of a long list of Apple employment policies that the suit contends violate California law. It's a capital C, honest slip. The plaintiff in the case, somebody, has worked in advertising for Apple since 2020. According to the suit, Apple used its privacy policies to harm this person's employment prospects. For instance, it forbade the person from participating in public speaking about digital advertising and forced the person to remove information from a LinkedIn page that goes on about their qualifications because of the job at Apple. So making it so they can't use who they are to market themselves to other people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. The lawsuit against Apple says the iPhone maker's policies push employees to meld their work and home lives digitally in a way that gives Apple knowledge of what they are up to beyond their job limits. For instance, according to the suit, Apple requires employees only use Apple-made devices for work. Duh. Because Apple puts restrictions on the device it owns, most people end up just using that device. And they highly frown upon putting any of your own things on it and whatnot. So they want you to, stay within the place. And I'll get out of the way, pop-ups. The Apple terms say that they have access to everything on the devices, emails, photos, videos, notes, and more in your personal iCloud account as well as your work one. And they have the whole they know where you are thing and the whole 9 yards. And this goes on and on and on and on. But they seem to think they have a legal right to do this to you after working at Apple as well. Now, and there are precedents for this kind of weird behavior because in like auto racing, if you're a high-end designer for a winning car and then you decide to quit and go to another team, that team puts in the contract that when you leave and go to another team, you have to sit out for 1 year. And that makes your knowledge less valuable so that you can't just help go to another team and make them winners right away as well. So there is some legal precedent to this. People do this like no poaching agreements and all kinds of stuff in business too. But this is way beyond that into the realm of Big Brother. And oh, man. Wow.
You remember those like ex-Apple employees who went up and made that like AI kind of like gadget thing that was just absolute shite?
Yeah.
Do you think that Apple was still connected to them and they were getting into their documents and changing the specifications of thing to make it shit?
Yeah. Here, we'll take out that mock kernel and we'll put in the Windows XP kernel.
Oh, your device doesn't work. You failed. Oh dear, what a shame.
Too funny.
Bad Apple.
Indeed. That's almost as bad as putting cocks on cockroaches. Actually, it's worse.
Where else should they be?
Yeah. So, who's this scary Borat looking motherfucker?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't think scientists are, not doing enough stupid science in the world, instead of like solving cancer and things like that, well, the folks at Science, the journal published by American Association for Advancement in Science, for 17 years, they've been inviting scientists to submit entries to their Dance Your PhD contest, where you basically present your PhD in the form of performance and dance.
What?
November 26th, post on X invitingly ask, can you explain your doctoral research through interpretive dance? The post contains sample videos of a few of the science-driven interpretive dances. Last year's winning dance was choreographed. I can't say it.
Choreographed.
That's the one. And performed by kangaroo researcher. That's what we need in the world. More kangaroo researchers. Wellington Manaria Costa. It reflects what he calls the combination of individuality and conformity in kangaroos and celebrates the value of diversity. Let's get off this fucking story. I'm done with it already. he won $2,750 for his efforts and drew attention to his ecology research. He's studying eastern grey kangaroos living at one of Australia's national parks. Yeah, blah blah. Kangaroos. Yeah.
Heather Wiley in the chat nailed it. You can dance if you want to.
Oh dear! Do you think it's where Reagan got a lot of her kangaroo interpretation from? Yeah.
Oh man!
Yeah, there's more. There's more. Hang on, how much time we got left? We got 2 minutes. Get on, you do another story. Come on, get on.
So, are you one of those people that are working in the United States in that factory making the Tesla Cybertruck? Okay, well, don't show up for work tomorrow. Don't show up to work the next day. And don't show up to work the next day. You're not needed. You're not required. Stay home. This is actually true. Tesla has just told the people assembling the Cybertruck that they've got three free days off. So they get 3 days off with pay because at this point, Tesla's got enough stock. They're not selling as well as they should have. With all the hype in the beginning about the Cybertruck, it's tailored off quick.
I'm impressed that they're paying them.
Yeah. Me too. Especially, being Musk, right? Hey, I bought Twitter. You're fired, right? So, right. But, so it's already, and if you don't know what's going on, you must have had your head under a rock because everybody wanted a Cybertruck. The Cybertruck was the big hot thing. Everybody thought it was amazing. It finally hits the market. Some prominent car people got their hands on them. And unless you're an EV enthusiast, your opinion wasn't very high. And that opinion spread like wildfire through more than just the car community. Everybody knows, right? So makes sense to me. I mean, Jerry Rig Everything, a massive YouTuber, just put out a video on how he will no longer use his Tesla Cybertruck to tow things for his wheelchair business because he uses the other vehicles now because
he uses the wheelchairs.
yeah. Well, they'd be more appropriate. The Cybertruck is so poorly engineered in the rear end that towing anything heavy with that thing, there is a decent chance you're just going to rip the bumper and the back end off the damn truck. It's a hunk of shit. We've got one in my town of like 30,000 people. One guy's got one, and you can already see he's got one of those foundation edition or whatever ones that's starting to have the rust issue on stainless steel. Rust
issue interesting
on stainless steel.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting that when the Chinese start making copies of it, their versions are going to be better.
Yeah. So it looks like we're done here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you in 2 days' time with some more humorous bullshit takes on what's going on in the world.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Come for the headlines, stick around for the laughs.
Leave with a headache. All right. And we got easy shout out for the team today. We got Shayna running the account for us, and we got super chat Matt in the chat as well. So a couple people out playing hooky, but hey, I did it for a week, so who am I to say anything, right?
Hey, you're supposed to do that in the credits.
Yeah, I know, but I figured I'd just do it now and then just keep the volume up. So thanks for joining us, everybody. See you Thursday. Bye.